Hey guys, I'm with Frank Mir. We're in the Mark Echo Cut and Sew store, and we're talking about guns and knives.
Wow. Martial arts.
Martial arts. Well, mixed with that, because I heard you're, an avid practitioner with weapons
I
training.
think that everybody, especially women, should all carry a firearm and be trained on how to use it. The reason being is because martial arts started out that way. If you want an opinion or you want a right to live free, you have to be able to protect yourself. There's a lot of people out there that sometimes get it in their mind to take what you have, or they're having a bad day and they want to inflict damage on you and they want to commit crimes. And they never go for the strong guy. They're never going to pick out the biggest guy in the bar. They're going to go ahead and look for weak people to vandalize and criminalize. And so if you have a firearm, it's almost kind of like having nuclear power. You don't need a nuclear weapon because you have it. No one's ever fired off a nuclear missile. Why? Because you don't want to suffer the consequences. And it's always shown that in states that have higher registered guns have lower crime rates. So it only makes sense. It's like, well, yeah, here's an example. People break into schools all the time and shoot children, right? When was the last time someone broke into a police station and shoot it up?
Yeah.
No, people don't, that's why, if a cop goes into a bar, his meal's comped. Why? Because they know that, if we have police coming here all the time, people are not prone to rob places that you have people carrying guns walking around. I think that, that there is accidental gun discharges and stuff, but that can be eliminated with training. But the one thing is that if someone has information and a controlled understanding of a firearm, the good always outweighs the bad. Because then you don't have travesties that you have, like, the Columbine. If the teachers there would have been, part of the teacher's curriculum is to understand firearms, to understand basic self-defense and chokes and arm bars. Then when the kids are walking from classroom to classroom, you have teachers that can lock the children up, go to the front of the classroom and fire back.
Yeah.
And that just, sets precedence. And then all of a sudden you hear, the first time, well, yeah, they went in there, but they got shot up.
Yeah.
That it helps influence future kids that want to go ahead, or other individuals that want to commit a crime. They don't go for those. People are like, wow, you go to the schoolyard, everybody has a gun. Like, I can't believe why we have all these problems on airplanes, right? Everybody's scared to death, flights. We go all these metal detectors, which I think only really help inconvenience the innocent people, because the criminals that want to do evil shit,
they're going to
find a way. So, but the average pilot usually comes from the Air Force, military background. So you have a guy who you trust to drive a $1 million machine, who probably drove a $1 billion airplane back in the day, knows how to fire a firearm, but now we don't want him to carry a gun because it scares us. What do you mean you don't want him to carry a gun? I want him to have a gun. Have rounds that are low penetration, that don't go through the whole of the plane, and be safe. That's one thing that I just think everybody has to take that upon themselves, that initiative, to want to protect themselves, and and not depend upon calling somebody else to help come to your rescue.
Yeah.
The police show up and they're there to help you, but most of the time, by the time the police officer gets there, they're just taking a report.
Yeah.
If someone comes in to rob you or rape you, they're there to clean up the mess. There are very few times that they actually get to intervene on a lot of crimes. Police, most of the time, all they keep is from husbands beating their wives, domestic violence, because that's an ongoing, takes an hour to develop. But as far as, hardcore crimes, firearms, knives, martial arts training, that allows people to be safer. And I think when you're safer, you're happy. Now your wife can walk to the store because everybody's wife has a gun. So who are you going to pick out? If I'm a criminal and I want to rob somebody, I know that all these women train once a month for an hour. They go through their course once again, qualify every 6 months. They're taking tests. They all have firearms. So that means even if I get one of them down, and I'm getting her, that means the 6 other girls that are watching as she's screaming are all pulling and drawing down on me and going, get off of me. You've got issues, and everybody tells me that, you'll have people get into arguments and shoot each other. Really?
That's going to happen.
People drive cars.
Yeah.
We don't run each other over that often. I mean, we have road rage. What does everybody do in road rage? They usually pull over, get out, and start fighting with their hands. We drive vehicles around. People want to murder people. They have a problem. 3,000 pounds of steel. If they're motivated to kill you, to run me over. Much more menacing than shooting me. So we don't have that many. I mean, in Vegas, I haven't seen that many times of people get in an argument, get in their car, and run somebody into the store. It doesn't happen. I think people need to give more credit to their impulse control and not take that away.
I agree, because what happened in Florida is that people are up in arms because you can have guns in cars and stuff like that. And it's the same thing. If people are going to go to work and shoot up people, they're going to do it.
Right. Yeah, if you have a situation where a person is a disgruntled employee and you think that they're going to go to their car and get their gun and shoot you, if they're that kind of person, if they're going to shoot you, if they have to go to their house to shoot you, they're going to go to their house, get their gun, and shoot you. The only person that you're hindering by not allowing them to carry the firearm is the woman who's driving home, who gets the car, somebody yourself, car gets stuck at the side of the road. All of a sudden, someone my size comes up to the window, sees you, and goes, "This is a cool victim. Take your purse, take whatever I want from you." Because really, how is somebody like you going to stop someone of my size? Very small chance. But now, so now you pull out a 38 and go, "Get away from my door, please." I'm cool.
Exactly. Now, what training do you do with?
I train mostly handguns. I do a little bit of rifle training just because I enjoy it, but I'm not going to use a rifle anytime soon unless, the world comes to an end. But I do train a lot with firearms, and I draw from, it's because I have a concealed weapons permit, so I practice drawing from concealed areas, and then also just different situations. People, whenever I go to the gun range, it doesn't take a genius to figure out how to just line up sights and shoot down range. You have to learn how to pull, like I'll have my friends behind me pushing me around while I'm trying to pull my firearm and employ it. Realistic. I go from a laying down position. I'll do it when someone's bear hugging me from the front and I drop my firearm out. And then I do a lot of stuff where I do threshold training. A lot of people, when they go to the gun range and they shoot, they're very much, their heart rate's low. They're calm, they relax, their eye protection.
That's what I was thinking. That's
not realistic. That's good to start off with, that basic understanding of gun, but once you can't go from that to all of a sudden there's a guy bashing your window in with a knife in one hand, ready to go ahead and drag you out and stab you, and you're going for your firearm. So one thing we do is we do conditioning. Like, one of my training partners will jump on my back, and I'll run 20 yards one way, and then run 20 yards back the other way, and then the gun will be on the ground, and maybe, 2 of the rounds will be empty shells loaded in the magazine. So when I load and start shooting, I'm already breathing hard, I'm tired, then all of a sudden I have a malfunction. I have to clear my malfunction and get back on site, all while I'm under duress. And then at the same time, then all of a sudden, Ken, my coach behind me, might kick me in the ass while I'm trying to shoot and fire, and I have to just overcome situations. So that way it just trains my mind how to function at a high heart rate and under duress.
Which makes perfect sense, because most people go to gun, like I said, I go to gun range and I'm like,
target practice.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, that's not realistic.
Not realistic, it's not, It's the same thing as somebody, if we were to practice, and that's why martial arts, I think, is so key. Once I learned one form of martial arts, I was a black belt in Kempo. It taught me, I didn't start jiu-jitsu until I was 20. I was in the UFC at 22. 2 years of jiu-jitsu, and I'm armbar and why I was able to do that was because I already implemented a program on how to learn, warfare. And so one thing I learned was, all the guys in class that never sparred live were never any good at sparring, because they would go ahead and practice, okay, throw a punch, okay, here comes the right hand, and I'll just practice this block, chop, heel, palm. It's like, okay, you're not tired, you're not nervous. But the minute you say, let's spar, we put on headgear and a mouthpiece and gloves, your heart rate's going, 1,000 miles an hour, you're sitting there. Now we'll see what kind of techniques you have. Now we'll see how good you are. You can't go from, and that will help prepare you for a real fight.
Well, now, going back to weapons, you also do knives as well?
Yeah, I believe in blades. Close proximity, I know it sounds vicious to a lot of people, but a firearm, a lot of times when you get into shooting, if you get shot by a gun, then the survival rate's like 60%, or a fatality rate. You die about 60% of the time. It's a small hole, it does expand because of the, the velocity of the round going through, but it's not as devastating. And also too, it doesn't, if someone's in front of me and I have to stop them, I know a lot more about the human body because of my training with, Kempo and Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai. I know about all the vessels and stuff. So I use blades as a way of it's my way of protecting my immediate ground. So if there's if there's 6 guys around me and they all want to jump me, and I pull out a knife and say, okay, you're not going to hold me down. Because anything that touches me is getting cut.
Yeah.
It's my way of creating a perimeter around me, saying, this is me and I'm walking that way. If you get in the way of me trying to get out of here, I'll take your hand off, So that's why I believe blades are so good, because sometimes with firearm I can only aim it at one person at a time. And it's threatening, but you'll see a situation where a guy pulls a gun. I've watched it many times where people reach for it, grab it, try to pull it out of your hand. With a blade, I've never seen anybody really reach for a blade yet. The guy pulls a blade and he keeps it against his body and he's sitting there, saying, with his hand protecting it, going, okay, you come in on me and I'm going to cut you up. So I think the blade helps a lot, because firearms are good for when a person's far away from you, but I think within 10 feet I instantly pull out a knife.
Well, if you guys were scared of Frank Mir before, be scared now. So I'm just allowed to say thank you.